that are vacant. May I request you all to please shift to the front rows?
Hello, check, hello, check, check.
I see a lot of backbenchers. Can I just request everybody at the back, if you could just move in the front? एक बार फिर मेरा निवेदन हमारे सभी उन मित्रों से है, उन सदस्यों से है जो कि पीछे रोज में बैठे हैं। आगे काफी सारी कुर्सियां खाली हैं, यदि अगर आप आगे की सीट्स ले लें। We will be starting shortly. We would request everyone to please assemble and make sure your mobile phones are either switched off or on silent mode. Thank you.
पेश कर रहा हूँ और उसके बाद दो बंदिशें और दुर्गा की भी पेश कर रहा हूँ। राग पेश।
Good evening, everyone. May I quickly request everyone to settle down? We're about to start in the next few minutes. Also, you all are requested to put your mobile phones on silent or power off mode. Good evening. एक बार फिर आप सभी का बहुत-बहुत स्वागत करते हुए मेरा निवेदन है सब कृपया अपने-अपने स्थान पर बैठ जाएं और अपने मोबाइल फोन्स को आप सभी कृपया साइलेंट या पावर ऑफ मोड पर रखें. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Announcing the arrivals of the dignitaries, we will be starting shortly. We would request everyone to please settle down, and if in case there's anybody outside of the pre-function area, we would request you to join us inside. And like I requested, please make sure your mobile phones are either on silent or power off. Thank you. Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. नमस्कार. आप सभी का एक बार फिर मैं पुनः स्वागत करती हूँ. A very warm welcome to everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of a wonderful two-day congregation. In these 2 days, I'm sure we have had the most of listening to some eminent speakers. We had Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, Mr. Kaushal Kishore, Mr. Kunal Kumar, Mr. Rahul Kapoor, and Mr. Anmol Sowit. In addition to that, the youth participated in some exciting competitions, interactive activities, discussions, and presentations that were focused on some very, very important topics in urban development. I hope that everyone here has made the most of these sessions. So you all had fun in the sessions? Come on, I definitely want a bigger applause or a bigger sound coming from you all. You all had fun. I'm sure we've made the most of the 2 days. And as we have reached the end, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to something great today. We have with us on the dais our eminent dignitaries. May I request everyone to please help me welcome them with a thunderous ovation. We have amongst us Mr. Amitabh Khan. He is the G20 Sherpa for India. Mr. Shombi Sharp, the United Nations Resident Coordinator for India. Welcome, sir. I'm sure we all are familiar and we've heard him talking. Can we give it up for Mr. Kunal Kumar on the dais, everyone? We have Ms. Gayatri Doctor, Program Chair, CEPT University. Mr. Ajay Kashyap, Convener, Y20 Secretariat. And of course, we all know Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, Director, NIUA. Welcome, sirs. Welcome, ma'am. May I now request Mr. Vaidya to please felicitate the dignitaries on the dais. So please welcome Mr. Amitabh Kant, everyone, with a big round of applause. Welcome, sir. Let us now welcome Mr. Shombi Sharp. Can we now welcome Ms. Gayatri Doctor? please welcome Mr. Ajay Kashyap. Okay, he's not here, so we would now proceed. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaidya. Please take your seat. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we will now get to the main agenda for the session. One of the participating programs in the conclave was Smart Cities and Academia Towards Action and Research Program. SAR program has documented more than 75 case studies from different smart cities across India. There were 15 academic institutes involved in the first phase of the program. After the successful completion of phase 1, we now want to connect with more institutes, more and more academic institutes to take part, and hence we are launching the phase 2 of the program. May I request our guest of honor, Mr. Amitabh Kant, to please launch the guidelines for SAR 2.0. So you would have a clicker. Can we request you to please click and unveil the guidelines? So please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we unveil and launch the SAR 2.0 guidelines. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sirs. So ladies and gentlemen, now I take the privilege of requesting and inviting our guest of honor, Mr. Amitabh Kant, to please address the gathering. With a thunderous ovation, ladies and gentlemen, can we please welcome Mr. Kant to the podium.
Mr. Shombi Sharp, the UN Resident Commissioner, Mr. Kunal, the very outstanding Joint Secretary, Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, Gayatri Doctor, distinguished guests, and all the young representatives from all over India and all over the world. As the Sherpa of India's G20 presidency, I'm extremely happy and delighted to welcome all of you to this National Youth Conclave in Delhi. The G20 represents all the developed and emerging economies of the world, and all of them have a very significant youth population. India, the country with the largest youth population, has over 65% of the population under the age of 35. Our average age of population will remain 29 right till 2070. G20 countries today comprise of almost 85% of the global GDP. They comprise of almost 78% of the global trade. They also face numerous obstacles, including high risk of disasters that result in an average yearly loss of $218 billion. It is also important to note that 80% of the COVID-19 cases actually have emerged from G20 countries. But these countries have also shown unparalleled resilience and strength to fight these challenges. India is extremely proud to lead the G20 presidency this year, hosting 43 heads of delegation, the largest ever in G20, and they would be participating in the final New Delhi summit in September 2023. India's presidency of G20 comes at a time when the post-COVID has impacted health outcomes, learning outcomes, nutrition, and a vast segment of population has gone below the poverty line, and number of people have lost their jobs. We are hosting the G20 when there is a challenge of geopolitics in Europe And there's a challenge of food, fuel, and fertilizer. Almost 75 countries of the world are facing a global debt crisis, and 1/3 of the world is under recession. There's also a financial bank crisis presently being confronted in the United States. But irrespective of these crises, we view every challenge as an opportunity. And therefore, we feel that India's presidency of the G20 comes at an opportune time to take action while we are at the juxtaposition of recovering from COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the existential challenge of climate change and global warming. This decade has been named as the decade of action, and I hope this year will enable us to accelerate progress towards all aspects of localization of SDGs, towards a sustainable future for the humankind. And all of you will together orchestrate a pro-youth vision to ensure a thriving and equitable future for all. This year is critical because we are the youngest country in the world, and how we shape the future will be critically dependent on how we work towards in close partnership with the youth of all G20 countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been a long-term believer that if India is to grow at high rates, urbanization will play a very critical and significant role, because cities account for almost 80% of the global GDP. They account for all the innovation, all the discoveries, all the patents. They account for all the growth and progress which we see in the world. Cities are drivers of prosperity. They are the drivers of job creation. But cities also account for pollution. They account for carbonization. And therefore, it's important to create sustainable cities of tomorrow. When Europe and America were urbanizing, they made cities for cars. And therefore, many car companies bought over railway companies and destroyed them. Our process of urbanization is beginning. When the process of urbanization is complete in Europe, China, and America. And therefore, the cities which we make have to be sustainable. They have to be cities for public transportation. They have to be cities for cycling and walking. They have to be cities which recycle waste and water. They are cities where citizens are able to interact with each other. And they are cities where the challenges and opportunities will impact and benefit the youth of tomorrow. And therefore, one of the key programs which G20 has put forward is the lifestyle for sustainability, the life which Prime Minister has talked about, which believes in a comprehensive framework towards adopting sustainable policies, technology choices, and lifestyle to counter the impacts of unsustainable urbanization and impending threats due to climate change. And this lifestyle for sustainability calls for a mass movement with behavioral change and nudging people towards sustainability. India's young generation, as the Prime Minister has said in his Independence Day address, will be the decision makers when India steps into its 100th years of independence. All of you will be young. And therefore, it is extremely important for today's youth to take up the responsibility and move towards sustainability and a sustainable future for India. while we are not responsible for carbonizing the world, India must become one of the first countries to industrialize without carbonizing it, because climate change, industries are moving from fossil fuel to greener and low carbon intensive processes. And this structural transformation in processes, technology requires upskilling of the youth, which is very important, because even if we are able to do 100% renewable energy, we'll be doing only 20% of our electricity. There are hard to abate sectors like refineries, steel, cement, long distance transport, fertilizer. All of them need to be decarbonized. They all use fossil fuel. And all of you will have to play a key role. The complex demographic patterns are emerging around the world, with people migrating in large numbers for work, education, better quality of life in cities. And therefore, these cities, while they'll be centers of growth, they should also be centers of providing a better livelihood to the migrant workers. They should ensure that we are able to give a better quality and a happier life to the citizens in cities. I think it's also important that all of you have been born into the age of digitization. Technology and data are important enablers to improve efficiency in service provision, improve a user experience, and provide a better quality of life. So going digital and going green will be the key. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, young entrepreneurs and thinkers like you will be responsible for driving the digital startup, the innovation ecosystem, but also the green movement. And therefore, cities are important for local creative and cultural economies, because they provide long-term cultural ethos. And no city can be without a cultural ethos. The rise of startups and innovation is important, and so is the creative industry. And all of you, when you grow and progress, become innovators, must pursue cultural interests and must pursue sports, because fitness is also important. So I am a believer that it's not possible for all of you to live a healthy life without spending 1.5 hours every day on exercise or sports, without doing some extracurricular activity. You must have an interest in extracurriculars, and you must also be focused on being digital, being green, and driving sustainable development. I'm truly delighted that this conclave and the Y20 engagement group are the perfect platforms for the youth to exchange knowledge and innovative ideas. I welcome all the youth leaders to join hands and work together to create a framework that enables the global community to translate its commitment for a bright future. All of you will be shaping the destiny of India and shaping the destiny of the world, because by 2047, almost 30% of the workforce across the world will be all Indians, because all of you will be young. Many of you will be transforming the world in due course. And therefore, don't just look at India, look at the world. We are in a globalized world. And in this globalized world, young Indians like you will be the true leaders of the world of tomorrow. So I wish you all the best and a great future and a very green and a digital future.
Thank you, Mr. Kant, for those encouraging words. And I'm sure the way sir said that you all sitting here are the ones who will be shaping the destiny of India, or say shaping the destiny of the world. I'm sure that definitely filled us with confidence, that motivation. Thank you very much, Mr. Kant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have the pleasure of hosting Mr. Sean Bishop, UN Resident Coordinator for India, as our chief guest. I deem it a great pleasure in requesting Mr. Sharp to please address the audience. Please welcome Mr. Shah.
Namaste. Mr. Amitabh Kant, G20 Sherpa, and wonderful partner of the United Nations, Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, Director NIUA, also wonderful partner of the United Nations, Joint Secretary Kunal Kumar, also wonderful partner of the United Nations, Ms. Gayatri Doctor, also wonderful partner of the United Nations, and to everybody here in this room, all of the dignitaries, but especially to the young people here with us today. Mujhe aap sab ko milkar bahut acha laga. I have to say it's never ideal to be speaking after Amitabh Kant because he's so inspirational. Usually I'll speak before. Now I have to try to keep your attention here for a few minutes. But I wanted just to say that on behalf of the United Nations family in India and as representative of the UN Secretary General, it's a great honor to be here, part of this important National Youth Conclave. So pleased to see such an incredible, vibrant group here today in person. I know many are online. If I'm not mistaken, at certain moments in time in this conclave, we've had 1,300 people in person, 1,500 people online as well. That's truly incredible. And I wish to thank the National Institute of Urban Affairs for bringing us all together here today. Of course, also to thank the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports for being partner organizations in this and the broader smart cities initiatives as well. And then, of course, finally, India's G20 presidency and Secretariat and Sherpa for bringing the G20 to India, giving us the opportunity to engage Urban 20, Y20, and so many important working groups and engagement groups as well. So, friends, I think as the Sherpa already mentioned, we live at the moment in an increasingly fragmented world. We weren't even able to fully recover from the pandemic before a terrible war in Ukraine began driving scarcity and price rises for the very basic necessities of life, food and fuel, driving the cost of living up, driving prices up, interest rates up, putting the basic necessities of life out of reach increasingly for poorer countries, for the global south and poorer communities, all the while coming in against the background of the greatest existential crisis of all, the triple planetary crisis, pollution, biodiversity loss, climate change, forcing us to keep our eye both on fast-moving immediate crises and the medium and longer term climate change crises. This has been incredibly difficult and yet has called for increasing, not decreasing, but increasing multilateral partnership coming together. And this is where India is playing such an important role. If there is hope, the only hope that we have is working together. That is multilateralism, and the G20 at this moment in time is the sort of main show, let's say, within multilateralism at the moment, bringing countries together. And I believe it's self-evident that India is uniquely positioned to bring countries together across divides, north, south, east, west, G7, global south. India uniquely has strong bridges of trust and partnership in all of those dimensions. So it's certainly not easy, but I cannot think of a better country than India at this moment in time to take on such a challenge. And under leadership, and I know Sherpa Mr. Kant had to rush off, but under the leadership of India's G20 presidency, we have great faith. This, of course, aligns and resonates very well with India's ancient concept and phrase, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and the which is sort of reflected in the modern motto of the G20, one Earth, one family, one future. And this is a message as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago, probably even more so. Now, this also resonates perfectly well with the Global 2030 Agenda, with the Sustainable Development Goals. The only negotiated, unified plan of action that we have at the world level, our blueprint for peace, for prosperity, for tackling issues like eradicating poverty, hunger, climate change, dealing with climate change, delivering on gender equality, women's empowerment, and making cities and communities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable, all the while leaving no one behind. This is the core promise. And this means, and this is the work that you have been dealing with over the last 2 days, that we must ensure cities work for everyone, for young people. And may I ask just for 1 moment, how many in the audience are under the age of 30? Could you raise your hands if you're under the age of 30? Fantastic, wonderful, wonderful. That's a vast majority. So cities must work for you. They must work for women and girls. They must work for those who are differently abled, for children, for transgender, for all marginalized communities for whom services and the way of life, the path of life is not always so easy. We must ensure that basic services, affordable housing, safe urban spaces, all of these are available equally and close the gaps between the urban and the rural, between developing and aspiring districts across the country. And here I would like to appreciate the efforts of government, the human-centered efforts of government delivered through a number of flagship initiatives, especially the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and broadly speaking, the government of India. For example, some of the more high impact and greatly respected programs, flagship missions, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Swachh Bharat, Jal Jeevan, Smart Cities Initiative, and the list goes on and on and on. We want to look at world-leading examples of how a country can provide development solutions at enormous scale. And the United Nations system here in India is increasingly helping to identify, codify, and share these Indian best practices, development best practices at the international stage. So I think the spirit of these 2 days is fantastic. We have been, through NIUA's efforts, we have been tapping the inspiration, the dynamism, especially of you, the youth, as change makers to help make the SDGs a reality. But absolutely thrilled to see some of to hear about and see some of the work that you've been putting together, and to meet some of you, the young change makers as well. Because the vision of the SDGs, the goal of sustainable cities, as Sherpa Amitabh Kant said, will only be achieved if your generation takes the lead. Now, I am very optimistic about the future, and a lot of that has to do exactly with you, with the young people of India, the greatest youth generation in history, more young minds coming together than ever before. And I've been so encouraged in my opportunities to travel across the country, across states and villages, all over. So many inspiring young people that I've met, launching beach cleanups, launching community resilience initiatives in the face of climate change. The UN Yuva Youth Advocates, for example, adapting technology to local solutions, thinking globally, but acting locally. And as I always say, in India, What's so special is that when you think globally and you act locally, you are actually impacting globally, as we estimate that upwards of half of the global SDG targets for some of the goals are here in India. That's the scale that you are delivering. And India's, again, government initiatives, and more specifically G20 presidency now, is bringing transformational acceleration opportunities to the world, focusing on digital transformations, as was talked about, women-led development. And I would like to focus for a moment on climate action, because again, this is the existential threat. From the Prime Minister's Lifestyles for Environment initiative, a global Jan Andolan that Sherpa spoke about, to diplomatic efforts on just green transition, on climate justice, promoting multilateral efforts like the Coalition on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, the International Solar Alliance, the Prime Minister's COP26 Panchamrit targets, 500 gigawatts of renewable energy, the private sector, dynamic Indian business, investing hundreds of billions of dollars in renewable energy, in electric mobility, India's support for the Milestone Loss and Damage Fund that will provide needed investments to communities impacted by climate change, and India's leadership on the call for the reform of the international financial architecture, which aligns very well with the UN Secretary General's SDG stimulus action plan, meaning we have to change the International Development Bank so that they open up and provide more financing for the global south and for communities who are paying the price of climate change that they themselves did not create. So, friends, let me conclude by saying that this is an incredibly inspirational moment. And this is not, of course, the end. This is actually just the beginning. I look so much forward to working with NIUA colleagues, with the ministry colleagues on helping to carry forward the ideas that will be felicitated here shortly, and appreciating how difficult it was to choose winners from so many incredible applications, providing solutions, practical solutions to take us to a prosperous and sustainable future. It has never been, to those of you under 30 who raised your hands before, it has never been in a way easier to take charge, to be a leader in this connected world that we have, whether as a student in your institution or your school, or whether as an influencer from your living room. So we are looking to you for your leadership. And I wish to say, this is what gives us hope in the United Nations. Saath hai to sambhav hai. You, the young people of India, wo jo dil se young hai, like the rest of us. Thank you so much. Bahut dhanyawad.
The kind of energy that I see in those applause, I'm sure we definitely enjoyed every word that Sir said. Thank you very much, Sir, for your valuable words. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Mr. Ajay Kashyap on the dais, he's the convener for Y20 Secretariat. I would request Mr. Vaidya to please felicitate Mr. Kashyap. Welcome, sir. Can we please put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Kashyap? Welcome. Thank you, Mr. Vaidya. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we come to the moment that most of you, I'm sure everybody is waiting for, the felicitation. You all have participated, you've given your active participation, and now is the moment when we felicitate you all on the stage, the winners. But while I say winners, you know, they say winning does not mean coming first. Winning means giving your best. And each one of you seated there have given your best. I want everybody to please pat your backs and congratulate yourselves. Say well done to each other. Say well done. We can't hear you praising each other. Can we say well done to each other? Come on, good job, well done. Wonderful. So with that, we move on to the felicitation ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, and to do the honors for felicitating the Prajatantra competition winners, may I request Mr. Shombi Sharp, Ms. Gayatri Doctor, and Mr. Hitesh Vaidya to please step in forward. And I would be requesting the winners to please come on this stage. And for the rest of you to please welcome them with a big, huge round of applause. Wait, hold on, let me call out the winners first. So I would request Mr. Shombi Sharp to please hand over the awards for the mayor's speech competition winners. The first prize, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Samriddhi Bharadwaj. A big hand, please. Second prize goes to Madhumati MV. I hear some cheerings. The third prize goes to Monish Rizwan. May I request the three of you to please come on the stage. Can we have our first prize winner, Samriddhi Bharadwaj? Second prize goes to Madhumati MV. Can we give a big hand for Madhumati, everyone? And we have Monish Rizwan. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you. And we move ahead to the next awards for the policy presentations on municipal finance. And the first prize goes to Swastik Madaki. Swastik, I want to see, where are you? How do you have such a huge fan following? I hear so many people cheering. With the same cheer and applause, can we give it up for the second prize winner? We have Mehvish Wani. And for the third prize, we have Navneet Joshi. Congratulations. Congratulations, Navneet. Congratulations. I would now request Ms. Gayatri Doctor to please hand over the next awards. For the policy presentation on e-governance, ladies and gentlemen, the first prize goes to Joe Momin John. Congratulations. The second prize goes to Milan Anugrah Paul. And the third prize goes to Ishwarya S, everyone. Congratulations. Congratulations, Ishwarya. We would now move ahead to the winners for the quiz competition. The first prize goes to Marriott Rose George and Sneha Vyas. Congratulations. Congratulations to the two of you. The second prize goes to Saqib Hamid and Abdul Basit, everyone. Congratulations. The third prize for the quiz competition goes to Dhruva Kasagara and Amar Malode, everyone. Congratulations to the two of you. May I now request Mr. Vaidya to please hand over the next awards. For the debate competition, ladies and gentlemen, the first prize goes to Akanksha Tiwari and Neha Singh. Congratulations. The second prize for the debate competition goes to Anshi Pandey and Sant Chogule. For the third prize, may I invite Organ Joe and Shweta Shiva to please come on the stage. And I'm so happy to see these big smiles on all your faces. Congratulations. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, for the op-ed writing competition, the first prize goes to Roshni Agrawal. Look at Roshni with a big smile joining us on the stage. Congratulations, Roshni. For the second prize, we have Yashaswini Inala to please join us on the stage. Congratulations. To collect the third prize, may I invite Ananya Dubey on stage. Congratulations, Ananya. Thank you. We also now, ladies and gentlemen, have two special awards. One is the Champions of Democracy, where we have Rishikesh Dohale and Madhumati MV, everyone, with a big hand. Let's welcome the Champions of Democracy winners, Rishikesh and Madhumati. Congratulations. And the next award, the other award is for the best performing teams. And we have Faculty of Planning, CEPT University. Give it up for SGBT Khalsa College. And can we have NIT Srinagar to please come on the stage and collect the awards for the best performing teams. Thank you. And with that, I would request Mr. Shombi Sharp, Ms. Gayatri Doctor, and Mr. Hitesh Vaidya to please take their seats. Thank you very much, sirs, ma'am. And congratulations to all the winners. I hope my wishes are getting extended to each one of you. Well, आप सभी ने एक बात वो एक डायलॉग को तो बिल्कुल गलत प्रूफ कर दिया है. There's this dialogue from Three Idiots. I'm sure you could all, have you guessed? Which dialogue? जब दोस्त first आता है, that one? No, you all are so happy to see each other winning. That's the best part about the evening. Can we give it up for all the winners, all the Prajatantra winners? And next, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will be felicitating the winners of season 1 and season 2 of the National Mission for Clean Ganga student thesis competition organized by the NIUA in 2021 and 2022, for which may I request Mr. Kunal Kumar, sir, to please come forward and do the honors by presenting the awards. Mr. Kashyap. So ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Kumar and Mr. Kashyap doing the honors by presenting the awards to Aman Sharma, Arunima Satish, Karpagal Lies, congratulations. We had heard a powerful voice yesterday, Manju Rajiv Kanchan. Mohini Bosekar. Mudhu Krishna. Rajorshi Banerjee. Rupal Srivastav. And Sakshi Singh. Thank you so much, sirs. Can we please give a big hand, everyone, for Mr. Kumar and Mr. Kashyap, everyone? And congratulations to all our winners, all our champions in the hall. We now come to the winners for the poster competition organized by NIUA to highlight a few themes of Urban 20 and Youth 20. May I request Mr. Shombi Sharp and Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, sir, to please come forward and do the honors. So ladies and gentlemen, in the first place, we have Yash Rajesh Davre. Can we please have Yash Rajesh Davre on the stage? In the second place, we have Tanvi Savle. Can we have Tanvi on stage? मैंने अभी अभी एक डायलॉग मारा कि आप सभी वो 3 इडियट्स वाला सीन नहीं है यहाँ पे हम बहुत खुश हैं whenever a friend is coming on the stage and suddenly ऐसी तालियां कम हो गई हैं. In the third place we have Rohit Raj. Can we have Rohit Raj? We also have 2 special mentions, ladies and gentlemen. We have Kanishka V and Sahili Ghosh. Can we please give a big hand for Kanishka V and Sahili Ghosh? I'm sure that we all have loved and we've seen their work in the diary that you've got in the kit. Did we all love their work? We've all seen? Wonderful. So let's give them a big cheer, guys, for the wonderful work they've done. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to thank Mr. Sharp, Mr. Vaidya, Mr. Kashyap. Thank you very much, sirs. Please take your seat. So ladies and gentlemen, we will now move ahead and we would like to felicitate the academic institutes that participated in the Smart Cities and Academia Towards Action and Research Program, Phase 1. And I would request Mr. Kunal Kumar, Ms. Gayatri Doctor, and Mr. Vaidya, once again, I'm going to request you to please come forward. So I shall be calling the names of the institutes and we request the representative professors to kindly come on the dais and collect the mementos and certificates. Can we please give it up, ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause. Let's welcome CEP University. And we have Ms. Gayatri Doctor receiving the mentor on behalf of CEP University. Can we give a huge round of applause, everybody? The Indian Institute of Engineering, Science and Technology. Welcome, congratulations, and thank you for your participation. Can we now have the representative professor from IIT Roorkee to please come on the stage? That could be louder. You don't have to hesitate. You could give a louder cheer. Thank you for your participation. Can I now invite the representative professor from RV College of Architecture, Bangalore? Welcome. Let's give a big hand for Jamia Millia Islamia. Can we now have Manipal School of Architecture and Planning? Can I now invite Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Bhopal, to please come on the stage? The representative from Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Bhopal, to please come on the stage. Can we now put our hands together for IIT Kharagpur? Why do I just hear a few cheerings? You know, you could just cheer out loud. That will be great. This is your evening. We are celebrating you all. Can we now have a big hand for College of Engineering, Pune? And ma'am, you've got a lovely smile. Can I now invite Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur? And finally, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. With that, congratulations and thank you for your participations. I'd like to thank the dignitaries. Well, can we please give a loud cheer for all the winners, for everyone who participated. You all have given active and wonderful participation. Thank you very, very much. And thank you, dignitaries, for handing out the awards. And to conclude the session, may I now request Mr. Hitesh Vaidya to please kindly give the concluding remarks and the vote of thanks. Please put your hands together, everyone, for Mr. Vaidya.
Good evening. वो कल सुबह जो जोश था वो अब भी होना चाहिए, तो एक बार बहुत जोर से गुड इवनिंग। वो कहते हैं हर शुरुआत का एक अंत होता है, पर सब ये नहीं कहते कि हर अंत एक नई दिशा को जन्म देता है। सो हर अंत की एक नई बिगनिंग भी होती है। ये 2 दिन जब ये शुरुआत हुई इस नेशनल कनक्लेव करने की, तो मैंने सोचा भी नहीं था कि इतना बड़ा कनक्लेव होगा। ये नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ अर्बन अफेयर्स ने 46 इयर्स में पहली बार विज्ञान भवन में कनक्लेव किया था। पहली बार, हमेशा मिनिस्ट्री कनक्लेव करते थे, हम उनको सपोर्ट करते थे। इस बार पहली बार नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ अर्बन अफेयर्स ने लीड लिया और मिनिस्ट्री ने हमको सपोर्ट किया। तो जब जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी श्री कुणाल कुमार जी ने कहा कि ये बड़ा इवेंट होना चाहिए और इनको किसी कारणवश कहीं जाना पड़ा और ये थे नहीं, और उन्होंने जाने से पहले एक फोन किया और कहा, हितेश, वतन तुम्हारे हाथ साथियों। और इनको जिस तारीख को आना था उस दिन इनकी फ्लाइट डिले हो गई और ये आ नहीं पाए, और उस दिन से, वो था आई थिंक 30 फरवरी, उस दिन से तब तक मैं सो ही नहीं पाया जब तक ये आए नहीं थे। So I before I thank anybody, I really want to thank him, because the trust, the faith, the guidance which he has provided to NIUA, I think that's, as a director at NIUA, I really want to thank him for everything. Second, Shampi ji, Dr. Gayatri, Akash, all of you, thank you very much for joining us. और जब मैं गया अमिताभ कांत जी के पास, मैंने कहा सर आपको वैलिडिक्टरी में आना है। उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, मेरे पास समय का है नहीं, मैं नहीं आ सकता। मैंने कहा इतना यूथ देश देश से आया है, आपको आना ही पड़ेगा। उन्होंने कहा मैं आ जाऊंगा, मैं सिर्फ वैलिडिक्टरी में आऊंगा। मैंने कहा बहुत अच्छा है सर। सर ने भी बात कर ली और शाम को उनके पीएस का फोन आया, सर अवेलेबल नहीं है। अगेन मेरी नींद खराब हो गई, फिर मैं नहीं सो पाया, और पर परसिस्टेंस हम उनको बुलाते रहे और उन्होंने कहा नहीं हम आ जाएंगे, और आज आए। So thank you for, he's not there, but I think he has graced this occasion. I think we should give him big hand. और जब हमने ये दिन चुना था 13-14 तारीख का, इवन जो हमें शायद पता था कि पार्लियामेंट शुरू होने वाली है, पर ओवरसाइट थी, हमने पहला दिन पार्लियामेंट का था और हमने सोचा था कि सब आ जाएंगे, पर हमारे दोनों ही मंत्री जी और तीनों ही मंत्री जी थे पार्लियामेंट में बिजी थे, और लास्ट मोमेंट पे उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं हम नहीं आ सकते क्योंकि आज पहला दिन है पार्लियामेंट का। अगेन मेरी नींद खत्म हो गई। मैंने कहा अब मैं क्या करूं, सुबह होगी, हमारे पास ऑडियंस 3500 लोग ऑलरेडी ऑफलाइन और ऑनलाइन जुड़ चुके थे। मैंने कहा पहली बार ऐसा होगा कि ऑडियंस बहुत है और डिग्निटरीज यहाँ पे नहीं है, बहुत शर्म की बात हो जाएगी। अगेन मैं हमेशा अपने जैसे वो होते ना, डूबते को तिनके का सहारा, मेरा सहारा हमेशा कुणाल जी रहे हैं। फिर जाके उनके पास रोया, फिर उन्होंने एफर्ट्स की, कल हम दोनों मंत्री को 3 में से लेके आ पाए। अगेन थैंक यू फॉर ब्रिंगिंग देम। एंड वो दोनों आने से उन्होंने जो अपने गाइडेंस दी, आई थिंक वी शुड गिव अ बिग हैंड to both the honorable ministers who joined us, gave their guidance, gave the directions, and also talked about how a youth can be the future for the nation, and how the youth and urban can connect together. So again, I request all of you to give a big hand to both the ministers. बहुत बड़ा सहयोग रहा मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ यूथ अफेयर्स एंड सपोर्ट्स का। हम उनसे कंटिन्यूस टच पे थे, कंटिन्यूस बात कर रहे थे, पर उनके सेक्रेटरी साहब को भी कोई शंघाई कोऑपरेशन की मीटिंग थी, वो नहीं आ पा रही थी। वो आना भी चाहते थे, नहीं आ पा रहे थे। फिर उन्होंने कहा मैं नहीं आऊंगी, फिर मेरी नींद उड़ी। और कल जब ये हुआ तो यूएन वुमेन की हमारे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव यहाँ थे। हमने सोचा था मैडम यहाँ होंगी, उन्होंने कहा कि आपका पैनल जो है वो जेंडर बायस हो गया है, आप में सिर्फ मेल हैं। बट शी वाज सो काइंड इनफ, शी सेंड अस अ मैसेज अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग and gave us, I think we should give a big hand to Madam Rajiv Lochan ji, who have been continuous support, and Ministry of Youth and Sports, who have provided us full support to them. जब ये शुरू हुआ तो 4 उद्देश्य थे जो हमने इस नेशनल यूथ कॉन्क्लेव को करने के किए थे। पहला था, लेट्स नॉट बी टू हार्श ऑन अवरसेल्फ, लेट्स स्टार्ट सेलिब्रेटिंग आवर लिटिल सक्सेसेस, क्योंकि इंडिया में बहुत कुछ हो रहा है पर उनको डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं किया जा रहा। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट डॉक्यूमेंटिंग, लेट्स स्टार्ट टॉकिंग, because we are doing quite a lot of it, but only thing is we are not documenting our stories very well. So SAR का जो initiative था, the idea was, and I'll quote my colleague Vikas, for the students, of the students, by the students. I think that was one of the biggest thing. We documented a great case studies for this, and I think you all enjoyed the exhibition there. So idea was to celebrate young professionals, look at the creative ideas, how they can best present those ideas, and start cheering for the young leaders or future leaders. I hope we have been able to succeed that. Second idea was, while we are talking about, Sherpa talked about that cities are the forefront. Cities are the key ingredient if we want to reach the new future. तो cities में काम करने की इतनी opportunities हैं, उसको यूथ के साथ शेयर किया जाए ताकि यूथ सिटीज को भी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी सके जहां वो अपना काम कर सके, जहां वो हम सिटीज के साथ जुड़ सके। वो एक उद्देश्य था। तीसरा था कि इंडिया के अर्बनाइजेशन के चैलेंजेस को देखते हुए कैसे हम बेटर पार्टनरशिप्स कर सके, कैसे हम बेटर एंगेजमेंट कर सके, कैसे यूथ को बता सकें कि जो स्किल सेट सिटी को चलाने के लिए चाहिए वो आपके पास है। आप अगर सिटीज के गवर्निंग मॉडल से जुड़ेंगे तो सिटीज आगे बढ़ेंगी। सिटीज को पीछे से मत देखिए, बट come and start working with the cities. And I think that is the learning which we have done with the India Smart City Fellowship Program, National Urban Digital Mission Program, and all other fellowship programs with the celebrating thesis competitions. And I want youth to really come up and start engaging with the cities. And I think the platform like Tulip and others are a great platform. And I want you all to really start using them and working with them so that the disconnect between the youth and cities can be reduced as many as possible. And lastly, I will say that हमको भी देखने का मिला, ये सिर्फ आपको दिखाने का नहीं था, हमको भी देखने का मौका मिला कि जब हम नीतियां बनाते हैं, जब हम पॉलिसी बनाते हैं, तो हम कैसे उनको आपके लेंसेज से देखें, एस्पिरेशनल यंग इंडिया के लेंसेज से देखें। तो आपका जो फीडबैक हमें मिले उससे अगर आगे की आने वाली पॉलिसी हैं उनको हम चेंज अच्छे से दे सकें और आपके बनाए हुए भविष्य को, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली जो शिल्पा ने कहा, इट्स अ न्यू अर्बन इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बी द यंग इंडिया एंड यू हैव टू शेप दैट यंग इंडिया। आई थिंक दैट्स वेयर वी नीड ऑल योर फीडबैक, all your support, and I really look forward that this beginning will be to connect between the youth and urban. Having said that, I have to conclude because I don't want to conclude, even though I have to, because I know that a lot of people have to take flights. I would like to thank my own team, क्योंकि पर्दे के आगे और पर्दे के पीछे बहुत कुछ होता है। बहुत सी टीम के मेंबर्स जिन्होंने पर्दे के पीछे बनाई, तो मैं बहुत बड़ा थैंक यू अपनी टीम के लिए, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स के लिए, मिनिस्ट्रीज की टीम के लिए जो रात दिन हमारे साथ जुड़े रहे और इस कार्यक्रम में हमारा सहयोग दिया, के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं। एंड लास्टली, thank you all of you for joining us and making it success. Without you, it couldn't have been possible. So thank you very much, and I wish all of you a big success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vaidya. I'm sure you're going to get a very good sleep tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've made the most of the 2 days. You've learned, we've discussed, we've met new people, we've interacted, and as Sir said, you're the ones who are going to shape the country, shape the world. I will, before we end, एक शेर कल शुरू किया था, आज खत्म करते हैं। कहते हैं आज बादल ने फिर साजिश की है, जहां मेरा घर है वहीं बारिश की है। आज बादल ने फिर साजिश की है, जहां मेरा घर है वहीं बारिश की है। अगर जिद है फलक को बिजलियां गिराने की, अगर जिद है फलक को बिजलियां गिराने की, तो हमें भी जिद है वहीं आशियां बनाने की। एंड विद दैट let's end the day, but it will not be over without a complete group photograph. Like we have to have a commemorative photograph. I'm going to request all the dignitaries on the dais. If you could just join us in the front, we would request the photography team to please come on the stage so that we could cover the whole entire hall at once. And I will also request everyone seated, if you could just rise and we all could just cover everyone at one go. Can we give a huge round of applause for our dignitaries, everyone? Thank you. Ma'am and sirs will be joining you now for a group photograph. Like I said, I would request everyone to please rise and give us a good, nice, strike a nice pose with a big smile. So we're going to have one serious picture, but one has to be while we give 3 cheers to all of us present in the hall. Can we say hip hip? Hip hip? Hip hip? Wonderful.